Hello, beautiful people. I imagine you showed up today to listen to find out what our G words were. But before I do, I'm going to get on a soapbox for a minute because I'm a little ticked off, actually. I'm a little ticked off at some of the recovery community. Some individuals, I should actually say, and I don't even know their names. But as I'm posting these in the gambling recovery groups, you know, we're having some engagement, some fun. You know, there's some silly answers. There's some really good recovery answers. But it's something I look forward to every day. I look forward to it every day to kind of see the creativity. Well, in one of the rooms, one of the people, today's G, answered G God, which is fine. You guys know I'm not a G God person. I'm a higher power person. I'm a universe person. That's my style. You don't have to do it because I do it. Just like I don't have to believe in God the way that people who believe and call it God call it. Well, somebody said God, and there was 21 replies underneath the thing, so I started looking, and I'll be honest, I didn't read them all, but I read enough to be really freaking disturbed because there was people telling the guy who posted God that he's wrong and he shouldn't believe in it, and there's all this fucking banter, and I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry that we have to still act like addicts when we're trying to get better. I understand it comes with the territory. And if you guys want to act like addicts, not you, I'm sorry. I told you it's a soapbox thing, so don't take it personally. Unless you're one of the jerks who did this. And they're not really jerks. They acted like jerks. I'm fired up. I'm not so polished on this. But if we're in recovery and we're trying to be better human beings, why aren't we just respecting each other and showing each other love and kindness? How does it make anybody be more successful at giving up gambling or anything else when we're aggravating them in a place that should be safe? Like, that really freaking ticks me off. I will tell you, as we grow the Facebook group in 321 No Kiddin, I will call out bullshit like that. Like, it's either we're all in this together and we're going to be supportive, or you're just going to have to go be on an island yourself and go argue with your own tribe, because it's not working for me. And that's a big part of why I have kind of taken my own path so I can have my own voice in what I believe in. Just like everybody else has that right. But don't put people down because you don't agree with them. It's just bullshit. Okay, soapbox over. I will get over it. I think, who knows what'll spill out as I continue, but I'm really, it's not the first time. That's why I'm frustrated. And there's certain people I can think of that do this at the center in my groups. They just look for fights and chaos. And I've been the victim of it. Like, if I say something and then I'm getting attacked because they don't like what I say, well, that's okay. You don't have to like what I say, and I don't have to like what you say. We're individuals. And at this time and state that we're in, more than ever, we need to be supportive of each other. We need to be loving. We need to be kind. I'm like really flipping frustrated. There's another friend of mine that he'll post on Facebook like the most controversial shit and then get mad when people respond to him in a way he doesn't agree with just because he posted it on his page. No. Like, if you don't want your point of view debated or responded, don't put it out in public. Like, you guys have no idea, for example, who I would vote for this year. And it doesn't really matter, but I'm not going to do it, not because I don't believe in who I'm going to vote for, but because why would I create all that agita? I saw what the frick happened 4 years ago. Or maybe even me believing in the universe versus God bothers people. But I'd like to think that the people I associate with would be like, oh, cool. Bobby's got her thing. I got mine. It's that simple. It's that simple. Just be nice. I told you I might still rant. Okay. The 3 or 4 or however many G words I came up with. One is probably goodness. Thank goodness. I'm going to shut up now about that. I really liked this one. So these are self-care activities, and I still am not getting a lot of activities. I will give a shout out to the person who said go-karting, because that's kind of more the flavor of what I was going for, but that's all right. But the word was grace, and nobody expanded on it in a way to say if they were talking about being graceful to other people or themselves. I 100% agree that we should exhibit grace with both. And for some reason, and maybe you guys feel this way too, but like dignity and grace just go together. It's like, dignity and grace. I don't even know where that came from, but I feel like those just 2 words go together. And I absolutely advocate for that. And I think that the biggest call out I want to say about that tonight is we got to have grace with ourselves. We got to give ourselves grace. We can't beat ourselves up all the time. We can't have that negative voice in our head, saying, well, you didn't do this, or you didn't feel that way, or if you gambled. Like, we got to just give ourselves some breathing room, some forgiveness. It's all good. Gee, good. See what I did there? Unintentionally, but I still did it. The next word is actually a couple words. The concept had a couple words, which is giving and generosity. And one of my coaches, like, freaking love this guy. He decided he was going to go out and buy stuff for folks without homes. He did this with meals and then challenged people on Instagram last week to do it, which is something I may do down the road too. I like that idea, both doing it and the challenge. Somebody else mentioned giving blood, another very valid thing. And we've chatted before about how giving makes us feel good, that warm and fuzzy feeling. And we've talked about it in the context of reaching out and giving someone an opportunity to give to us advice or wisdom or share their experience or whatever you want to call it, but give the opportunity for them to help you. And giving and generosity comes in a lot of different ways. So that one I think is a beautiful activity, and I would hope that it would be integrated into everybody's lives as they are on their path. And it could be, even if it's giving yourself a break, giving yourself credit for not placing a bet today or this hour or this year, whatever that looks like. Give yourself credit. Give yourself grace. Be generous to yourself with your rewards. When I can't remember if I told you this, but for 4th of July, Paul in Recovery Elevator was talking about, because it's a holiday week, show up to the party with your favorite non-alcoholic drink, as a way to safeguard, no different than how we would do if we turned over our money or, we did another kind of a barrier to whatever it is. And he's like, don't hold back. So like, let's say your drink was more expensive, your non-alcoholic drink you wanted, I don't know, like those Starbucks coffee drinks that are like $3 or $4 a bottle, for example. He was saying, go ahead, celebrate that you're not drinking, like you're entitled to have a treat. Be generous with yourself. So ever since he said that, I've had a milkshake a day. I'm being honest, but I've been generous in celebrating for not drinking 4th of July all week. And that's okay. The last word/words, because I think these kind of go together as well, is, well, maybe not completely, but goals and growth. I love having goals. I love Freaking A. I swear to goodness that I do not mean for yawning to be part of the freaking show. It really ticks me off. As I get back to normal episodes, I will make sure that they get edited out. But this is ridiculous. I'm not bored with you. I'm not bored with recording. I'm just freaking tired a lot lately. And I think I told you, my counselor said it's summer. It's the part of life where I need to slow down because it's summer. So I'm going to give myself some grace to yawn. So anyway, goals and growth. I think goals help us stay focused on what we want to grow on. But growing, oh my goodness, that's like one of the best things ever. Well, that was not a very nice podcasting sound. I have like 7 thoughts running through my head. That's the problem. So there's a lot of beauty in growth. And even if we take it from nature, one of the other G words was gardening. Like, how fun is it and cool is it to watch a seed grow into a beautiful flower or vegetable or whatever it turns out to be? I mean, we had to plant seeds in rehab. I can't remember the whole lesson, but the counselor put so much effort into getting us seeds and having a cute little meeting. But that growing, and we talked about it this morning with moving the mountains one piece at a time. That's growing, is all those little pieces adding up. And all of a sudden we built a mountain. We grew a mountain. Growth is key for me. It's just key. And it's also, I'm writing a book with a bunch of other girls. I don't know if I told you that, but like we're going to all each have a chapter, and it's really a beautiful situation. We meditate before we write together, and then we kind of share what just falls out of our brain onto the writing. And we were talking about growth today and how it's part of the process, and it's kind of a theme in the book. And it's beautiful because I'm growing some of my spirituality in a different way by connecting with these women. And the conversation in some part, I had told them, like, I'm really struggling with the concept of ever really dating again. It just, I don't have time for it. And I'm positioning myself better. It's not like, oh, the last guy broke my heart and I can't date. It's not coming from that place anymore. One of the things I've always struggled with is I've always grown, whether it was like with my ex-husband, when we both started at the company we worked for, we were equals. We were both truck drivers. And then I went back to being in the floral department. He became a truck driver. But as I grew my career and I went into management and I developed myself, he would be truck driving, which is the front lines essentially, right? Like, because he wasn't a dispatcher or supervisor or anything like that. So he was a frontline worker. And then I was getting to where more and more employees reported to me and I had to represent management. And what would happen is he would talk with the other frontline workers. And of course, I'm sure you guys know how this goes. Frontline and management don't always agree. So that was like one piece of me growing. Like, I was growing in my career, so it made it hard for us to relate at all times. And then I started going back to college. So then intellectually I grew, and I won't say I grew more than him. And intellectually, we just grew different. Like, he was very smart about so many things that I would never even be interested in. So it was just growing different and growing apart. So I love growth, and I don't know that anybody can keep up with me, if I'm being honest. And I actually don't know how I'd feel about that. Maybe I didn't intentionally. It just works out that way. That's the way I feel. Who knows? Maybe I'm just using this as an excuse to keep my guard up, my G guard up. But it's not really important right now. It's just weighing on my mind a lot because of what happened yesterday and the way that this whole thing is panning out. I don't know. It is what it is. It's all good. I am grateful. So grateful. And everybody did. I didn't say everybody. I hate using those words too. I don't hate. We know I don't hate. Well, see what happens when I get all fired up. I can't even stick to my own values tonight. I don't like those words that are all inclusive. But there was a lot of folks that showed up and said the word gratitude. And you guys hear about that on my other episodes. So I wasn't going to tie it in tonight. But since it showed up, yes, being grateful. And we can be grateful for growth and for giving and for grace. G's kind of a fun and easy word. I like it. All right. I have to go to class, people. So have a marvelous night. Please think about what I said in the beginning. Please. If you're miserable because you just quit and your body, you're physically not right, your attitude's not right, that's fine. Just keep your shit to yourself. That's all I'm asking. Don't poison other people because you may be impacting their recovery by having that argument. Everybody, it's so funny because gamblers, here I go. I guess I'm not over this. I have a lot of pent upness about this. And what I've tried to do all along is make it about me and my programs, and what I'm going to offer the world is everything that I don't like about what some of these other things offer the world. I really haven't discussed it because I also feel like by saying this, I'm doing a little bit of what I don't like them doing. Like I'm talking shit. I'm not trying to talk shit. I'm trying to talk real. That is bullshit. Gamblers will get their panties in the biggest fucking wads in these rooms. Don't post dollar amounts. It's a trigger. Well, what about the 7,500 posts about fighting about posting dollar amounts? You don't think arguments and turmoil are triggers? I just had this revelation as I was saying it. I've always known it's wrong and it makes me uncomfortable when they get into these battles. And I'm always like, nope, I'm not going to do it that way. Like that's part of some of the turnoff is, unfortunately, a lot of these people are 12-steppers that are very black and white about 12-step. It's just the way they are. It's not their fault. I can't change them. I don't want to change them. They have their place in the world. They help a lot of people. But I'm also not going to argue with them because it's one of the 20 questions. Do arguments, frustrations, and I'm trying to do it by heart, so forgive me if I'm not doing it perfect. Do they create an urge to gamble? And most people will say they've answered yes to, up to 20 questions pretty regularly. So if that's one of the questions and you know that frustration and arguments are triggers, why do you do it in a recovery room? Okay, I swear I need to leave us on a good note. So I am grateful that you are here. I'm grateful that I had an opportunity to bluff steam about this. And I'm going to ask, if you had any value from this conversation, if you resonated with it, feedback, if you would kindly leave me a review or a rating, I would so greatly appreciate that. Okay, beautiful people, I will see you in the morning, not as frustrated as I am right now. Okay, so we got a date in the morning. Love you, beautiful people. Good night. And you're well understood.